the game itself was fairly lifeless, to be honest, but I suppose a win was a win. And when you look at Tip, maybe after losing their first 2 games now, I mean, first day out is important to win. And I think, we've trained well now during the week, so we'd be looking for a better performance today, and it will have to be better, obviously.
Last year, of course, you had a great win in Páirc Uí Chaoimh against Kilkenny, but the previous year was a different story here. Where are you thinking in terms of what are you expecting from your players this afternoon?
Yeah, well, I suppose, look, 2 years ago was well documented, but last year, to be honest with you, I mean, Kilkenny had 14 players for half the game, so I suppose it painted a slightly distorted picture. But I mean, we competed well, but then come the championship time, we weren't at the races either. So like I suppose we are anxious to see ourselves today exactly where we stand, and we'll come here today, to fight tooth and nail really, and to get a result, and see how a few of the new lads are performing, and the old guard and the experienced guys they're showing a massive appetite, and it'll be interesting to see how we all get on today.
The fact that you won the game last week gives you that, I suppose, little cushion with the 2 points on the board. So is that what was behind you're mixing and matching a little bit this afternoon possibly, and or is it something you had planned to do in any case?
Well, I suppose I wouldn't think so. I mean, we've prepared the team to win today, and if we're good enough, we're good enough. If we're not, we're not. But I mean, we've a lot of experience. Most of the guys playing, they're very experienced. Some of them didn't start the last day through maybe injury or whatever, so they're getting their opportunity today now, and I expect them to take it.
Brian, bhí sibh sásta Tom Kinta leis an méid a tharla is Stad Semple an tachtain se caite, cad lena bhfuil tú a súil ó Éireann an sahan jobh ag Corca.
Yeah, well, bhí mar sásta leis an bhíthe an seachtain seo caite. Níor thosaí mar go maith ach, I rithne léthe Jamir mar go maith agus críoc ní mar go hanamh ar fáil agus tá mi súil go lena míad ar aige inniu agus go méid cléthe maith going.
Tá fuair an láidir go dul chun Páirce ach tá daoine nua ann. An fear nua seo Pat Hartley ag immert a Lárda Páirce. Tugann tú seans de imróí nua ní lehanana go mar Aberling beagáin mí there.
Yeah, well, Pat dimmer Pat leis na mínóir agus na féfi héin inis tá sé fé ceair nó mar sin agus dimmer sé lán fisciban freisin le WIT agus an bhliain seo tá sé gimmert le DIT ach fear leider tá sé go maith agus tá méid tú go méid sé go maith.
Cén bhéim atá sé bheith chur, cén tácht atá sé bheith chur leis an treach amórtas am léana bhfuil sé bheith smuoine bhar bhuair fictúir nó an bhfuil ceantas na cospóirí agat ná an treach amórtas a bhóchant?
Well, an gárad ceapan an bé an céine agus a chuirm ar an srá gá fliain bhí méid anasás ar fad dá méid méid ábailte an srá a bhóchan ach tá méid gandát ag fécinn ar an pictúir mór freisin.
Rice. En dan gewoon de Vlenen, Ronan Cornacha, Colin Finley, Techtisteach, agus. Another one rap factor in the main to get Ronan Cornanson. John Gardner, Techtisteach, go Croy Cromakiana. Gan Suna Tokra, later, son against the Kula, agus well. Puck Sarah Mach, agus the Mona, Sata John Allen, Tan Slowly, she guinness in.
Well, Tasha Corrigan can score a current mode.
Shortesteach again, Pat Horgan, agus Tan Vactian to get. Harvey Tocht of Corn. Steve McDonald leis i lár an éananig ach fach get Finley agus Échan Lewis atá get Colin Finley stacha the Eddie Brennan Shanter Void and so an over and fad get Gardner agus Maracha bhí cool get Kilkenny
Capas go on
shared out ar fad agus hanas ina hana unad bhí sé trá den saoil sa i lár na Páirc an Dinch McCann Richie Hogan and Ish will paint him to the Kilkenny tága dain.
Is cosúil brian nachhfuil an gré chuisteach go bhór ar nimmert mar a sin top magaló cé go bhéchan sé bhfuil an gré an láidir ach níl sé chuisteach ar immert Kilkenny go dtí seo.
Ach chuman nach chéin eile ha Michael Bocht follings na Canéal Chaimsle stacha the Richie Hogan. An skillúil fad ísisiil talahí an dát Hogan. Mulhall and Ish. Lubernach, a chéfachtach, Stachany Hogan, agus I críochna go Hurling ge Richie Hogan, paint an a bhrachan na caitchan cín.
Sin anna fios a coimert a trúrnú cahar san immert agus críochna go glóte ag Richie Hogan an sin.
Marsin Jackie Turn, Brian Hogan got out to give le Gaili Lochlan agus tá an tunnetson mar lechol lar a Lienige Jackie Turle lar na hoides and son of Vinchelish club Choma Pontash took again Maltor de Kilkenny nach Kalish Eddie Brennan John Mulholland ish Farah Heimsig hen the tree gan Corkis a chle saha when Blincha McCarran agus an Kiet Cown fachte ge go Hennig Tranona and a feinte
Sin Anneli Roy tras na park mar no tá sé dechar glóir mar te gunin gwéis na gwéis sin nach Anneli Roy tras agus anna críoch ó John Mulholland sin.
Ja, so ein chachkul anach at ni roid iskint ge Richie Hogan Stephen McDonald leis tacht Better come on began in big skill to get McDonald achtan back in to get Finley Hunson stach Shane more finish Dienta Kamagas Shay Midord a visa Crave get Cork United Tana Himidori Nishanai Kele John Gardner and Farah Heinig Stachanson Yefsha Sauce the Necher Agus Ta Betno Turukanish in there Kele Richie Hogan Rinnica John Mulhall Leshalar and I think Bí go maithagus ní raibh go holcas tócha nó go dána Gardner steach.
Se bhfuil is tócha éis na hosnaige ní raibh si de ceartaige né chur dul isteach.
Ábharín beag de sáil leis le fiscin agus cuireach Michael Grace don barc sa chluithe sin. Snin chiad bhfuil agus bhí Shane Murphy anna bhí háach Gardner teachtasteach a Richie Hogan agus cé raibh buntáiste ó hebh tuirrtaige Gardner níor stríoch Hogan a bhachal rimis.
Níor stríoch, no. sé dechar an rétóir éon rud éanamh sin mar
Áinach is Stáilin gúil carta brownta Richie Hogan ige féin drása agus tá scaoilte le Cadigan agus Gardner nes agus well an bheirt ceartas docha aimsethe.
Stocha
Ní héana leise na seolta is Richie Hogan na cheann go Joe agus bhíon ghaile fiscin de pointúnach ar as a geantan ach dhéananig leis a bhearta dhéanamh.
Sin anna scór i gcuine gailáidir mar sin.
Í hána yes agus tá Ben O'Connor boca isteach go bhí sé mó go dtí seo timpeall lár na parke. Richie Hogan and Ferris Lou beidir ar a barc ach an uair sin an nádas na fracha leis anna go bháil go dó dechar bucht sin mar sciile bhachail.
Sin anna go bháil ó fear bheag chuma DJ agus bearn sé ní ród chasan sé an clé agus anna cholín ar fad.
So tá cúig mátá a Chorcaig Calna dírig seileh a bhuachtant well the Corcaig text lach ar a chéilean son Legus Mahaga Finley Michael Rice seoltasteach go Hurling ar fad anna hín play anna éfachtach
Anna scórin sin arís Michael Rice a chéad scór sa chluiche cinnte le
Géirí fór an bheilig an barc tá Graham Callan tóca maithaige Dennis Walsh agus tá Jerry O'Connor chuisteach go lár na park géidir an dáling Richie Hogan a ríist.
Rod ceart.
Sé críoch agus Derna Mac na go bhfuil deisige Richie Hogan ar 8 pointe a chur idir na fórne.
So tá trocha héan nó méas.
Néachir hinis ceannisteach a measta das agus Paddy O'Sullivan agus bhfuil duineach chalíisiir duineach darla sem bhiltóir agus sé trua na réag leis Chasena dile.
Well, chur Tommy láh trasna ar tócha.
Baiste Pat Hargam check chuine bhar echar Ísisiil Neil. An Gordons an cura siar ag an bhlíp sin. Má tána Corcaig le Paddy O'Sullivan. Dianta go deastá trúr Corcaig agus gan Bert. Harú dianta agus defriocht dianta get Jerry. Ar chúsa lár na parca an fearlár parca Kilkenny Michael Fenny chun teachta dír ar an bas láimhe chuige mún son agus ach cín ar éiste.
Well, cinnte tá rud éigean déanta sin anna scór rís ó Michael Fenley agus scór an immert an céad na agus drochas fáint den chud is mó.
Dianta go húntaach go Jerry O'Connor machchan tugan ina grthar ben sin pointe den sco i get Bert Vallenú a handrama agus túsma ge Corcaigh sa tarna le.
Well, sin túsma mar dúir sin anna choimar an chópla agus críochúntaach ó bhin. Tuair sé sin dóchas ag an dóibh mar.
A bheith am róg a cheanóg í Alpín í bhechas a gut.
Ja, beidir
Tom Kenny, Botón i siút Skilias i ge Fogarty, Stachantá dro Richie Hogan agus na Corcaigh Owen Cadigan tre Shane Murphy Hogan Shínte John Gardner Ní an buil methe fós mátá agus tá 8 de feintí ge Richie Hogan in ish ach be cór leis le chuir Shane Murphy mar gur lag Cadigan é tre himpuisteach an hánig Cadigan bheith mar a thucach tre an about the sun.
Well, sin anna fios émartan sin ó John Gardner mar cinnte bhí cúlán marachar hánig John Gardner trasna Richie Hogan nuair sin agus má bhíonn sé gortas ó Conor O'Sullivan an tonadí atá den áid sin i mthúrin nó Bédró an Dylan ó Milford.
Nó cad a bhíon son Colin Fennelly teachtasteach agus tá sí fachtaige tá Michael Fennelly leistigh seo seantar chón sarathe go díal i gce Martin Coleman and son. Fósáin mátá Eddie Brennan steach míle bháide goi Fennelly de seile. Well, conas nar scoráid a cúla son. Bhí geiste go machta mór an daoine fásta teachta na seo ceann na parci go. Benin ish. Búte teach ge Ben agus tá buile díanach búiltan son. Tammy Walsh dúis agus JJ an son agus bhfuil ar bhéine as a slíon son ige Delaney beidir gur hála rud ag na íag sin anna cheann ar fad ige Pat Horgan anna cheann. Dachar teachtar Fennelly nuair a dhéann sin teileh éiríonn leis spásach rathú anna neafaisteach ar fad. Is seotasteach a míle chúil agus Cadigan ann agus tá sí mihan Liam. Nis tá motóir dolisteach an sa Nílim cinnte go háin san mar chanig cheatú dar chiad chanig níor haring sé mar gribh Cadigan ar a dalamh. So chun is a chuigeann le slitar an líon.
Caiimiad fiochan ar rís istócha mar a dúir sin thug sé ar amachchatá.
Well, chéimiid it sa bhí ón Cadigan ar a aid agus ar a lehead. So, well, sé brenin chachan talúna.
Cha sé an talúna cinnte, ja.
Íon Brennan go agus a chuirteach ar déire hir ceapas gur.
Ja, sin a hála, cha Eddie Brennan.
Cian McCarthy. Búteach ge Cian gan fíochant JJ Delaney anna Hooker and son. Agus níd an giadúir den na Bertacha a dul an nair go chéile. Chuirach an cíne sem roiig an son. I cílchan isteach a dro Eddie Brennan agus Liu cartón slóa.
Agus níor mar bhí mar a ráin sin tá sin féchan súsan tá mar fad níor Eddie an tám sin nechar just chaiste agus búilte agus well bhíon réadar ag obair cinnte gartaige.
Mistig. Fennelly a ríist. An fersach ó sleún le hascú ce goil sleapan san facht ardaige ó William Egan a stáilm.
Bhí sé ar glór a ráis.
Well, bhí sé dtíar ag góla a bhóla ar ghóla ach ar chumann dornalaí na bíon cuinnig leis an muile síos a chuig Fennelly. Ge Corcaigh tróna chuir sé ceanna músa chéad le an glíoán hálach.
Ja, seo híon beidir an ceathrú ceann ar fad. Cé go bhfuil aláin tochna sé ar feite an seo inis ins na cúlathe ag Corcaigh.
Delaney, chahar sé níiad na Delaney bheannach Michael Kavanagh, dar sé chamáin a láimh go láimh, rud a chág seans agus a Corcaigh puinte gan Niall McCarthy. Well, harangen ní bheith fáú gneach Michael Kavanagh batún den Thorson.
No, ní minic éan sé mar sin nach sé go má ag Niall McCarthy cholíon áil agus.
Ach sé dearing sa muocht de lecht na himmer beidir, Janach sin
Cinnte,
rud a bheith the dinner of a good sort of ad, the Cork big, a given Varna. Hit Tom Kenny bidder the Ross Stolen son, you know, pass the bar, Stacha Gardner reached a dinner of Osterfad. Goal of talk again, shot Stacha largely, Kiano, McCarthy, Fev, Fachtige Kian, Shanske Rolchen Kinach, Tasha Saston, a point, and Credu the Gardner reached.
Anna Cleheim with the Gardner. You know, the Carty again, Leroy, and all the Crochet, come on, stuff. Fortune Leroy, Pascali Kian McCarthy was fully let it. And this, August, you know, Nila Kerakulina, tradition was. Well, Deno made it all, no Neno made it all, so.
Well, Cameron Fakish in Achta, the Hooken cart the Derek, Nachka the Harla. I guess not the cart the Derek Deer, no Cade.
Well, the affirmation of the Derek.
Hard, the Hanson Fachtige. Well, Lasker she get Ben O'Connor. George Jerry Bader, Deshery Gardach. Cian McCarthy, Farrell had just deflicht in a Bohanshech and Parke. Tom Kenny on Devsach and Barkach, Niall McCarthy. The screen of Faye Hennig about it near Hep, Aravish the Grave O'Wachal.
Sin on the score. Dara Shantic Niall Mac and Cade Kion on Tave Clare and Dara Kion on Desho. So, three Colina on a chaft in the air for Deontay Curtis and Dara Lasher.
Shin Cookie in the fight, yes, Hale. Again, Cork againish.
Agus Diana Shea Anna Coy no mere Dernock no Shea no mere no.
Well, find to get Niall McCarthy Satarna Lasha. Get the earth to get Ben. A lot of tackle the stig. Facht the guest to go Cian McCarthy on a block on. Get James Chaff Fitzpatrick. Achtana Corky Vogestach Freddy Kale Augustus. Pocket to Brown to get James Owens. Drama Shirabach terrible.
Well, Agus Ben Stoker Renewation. Hugshan and Robert the Tom Kenny Division top 3 decimal rotation.
Lasmo, Dunbashte, Talon, Ider, Patrick Horgan, Agus and Sur Sahol, Eshachne Haramo, Targa! Frapsio scored on the whole board of Nedrefs and the guest get down the rev. Agus Kummer.
Yes, Kummer. Shin Anna Chapter Ration for a father copy. Agus Tasha Andachar or Wunderly Road Shin and Dolive. Kegel and Talib Bogalore, Hogan Lero the stock, Alice, right there, Pagano made them Scott.
This John Aberlin Ketas and a Mich, the Lech, the Hemmer, Ket around, or Ketas and a Mich.
Maladurish and Chin, you know, a Darren Kate live for Father One is talking.
Esho.
Richie Hogan, Acme Bush, Tux and Darryl Lasher, Jackie Turner Rose.
Kadeshin Durish, John, Nibush, Puck. Fan deal fresh to cut her canary.
It's talking about Vinnie Cade Fox and Darryl Lasher. Some of me are fresh and Jackie Turner Fox and Cade Lasher, Tommy Welsh, Mikey Fenley Lorman.
Short the stack again, Agus Stolen Gullivat. Didn't get Patrick Horgan, Targadine. That was the 4-0 Choharach. Again McCarthy, Machairi Nashi Gordach. Hashi shot the stack again McCarthy, Hashi Curry, yes. Agus our 4-8, Agus Tasha, Sheet to Hennig, Led Dimo.
Kintig or Shantation, Agus Cornagui, Kintig.
Hostage of the spot, the Spanel Hasha. Ta, Imidori, no Takach and Kane. Richie reached. Well, the slap back together. Cartigan Maltorvi, Richie or T. Squealy Fay, Agus Tom Kenny, and so Joshua Strike at the hand and Valtora, no Bay William Egan in town. Yo, it didn't go ahead, on Khalish style, Tom Kenny and Sunnigs Michael Fenley, Kintu, Mark Kudach Sheas, the Richie Hogan, Agus the Maltor, Holmakiana, Richie Hane Brocht, Kiel Hane, Tan Vart, again, far done fart. On the Hemidori Lord Parker East and Arca Caleb, Ben O'Connor is Fenley, Tom Kenny is Shastamistach, the Horka Khomakiana, Nishwil Moran Focus and Ian Kesht, James Owens, him on a Retor, the Vine, the Durmalichte, oh, give out on the Caleb. Stochadur sé lehan sanna de Chorcaig in a seo a Choramo, Stephen MacDonald a Chairíonn le Kilkenny sin a buchtant Michael Fenley tanna the Eric Shete ag James Owens agus an chluas seo Chomanis de pointy Portugal Kilkenny ach sár chuinen sa tarna le Anna Hachtan here again.
Gardner Tresha Lee and a Trasna Lartling, and so John, after what was a very demoralising first half, a much better second half from Cork.
Yeah, we came back into it the second half there. I suppose conditions weren't great for both teams, I suppose. Pitch was rough even before the rain came, but I suppose the pleasing aspect for Cork, I suppose, the second half performance, and like it's only our second round of the league, so we're not going to take much from that, only that a bit of heart from the performance, I suppose.
But no points today, John, so that must be very disappointing.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, Kilkenny are a great side, and you know you're going to get it tough when you come up here. At half time, it could have went either way for us. We could have got, like, I mean, a couple of years ago we were beaten heavily up here, so it could have went that way again. But fairness, we stuck to our guns, and you know, unfortunately in the end, this was not to come away with a couple of points. Was the team that finished the game for Cork today better than the team that started? You seem to dominate so much in possession terms, and even in attitude, John. The second half, it seemed an awful lot better. Yeah, I suppose some of the more experienced fellas came on there in the second half and probably made a bit of a difference, but. Again, it's only the league, and there's going to be a lot of fellas going to be tried out before the summer months, and there's no better place to try fellas out only against Kilkenny there. Absolutely. Okay, Gurmina Magat, John Gardner, Slartling, and so I guess fair play to John Vianna Daralaga, and so Anion Gurbi Kirka a Furin Kied scoreless and kick pucks there, no Pat Horgan, Lewis Achleha. Balekal Chwinnig and Anachid Schlitt and Kied Lavi Richie Hogan Harbar Shin Coolin Alling Ega Richie Farachrefnig La Degulini and Sutran and Yov Fisha Scoral O Airfoot na Harta Agasim Roriella Michael Rice and Counchin Michael Fenley Canella Rivla Ham Agus Egla Ham Bikail Chwinnig Dehen Igadoch and Kain for Hargan Haw Hulin Lua the
campaign by winning home and away in their first two matches. But John Henderson, in fairness, that was a game that it actually could have gone either way in the end. It was an unusual game, dreadful conditions, and I thought, in fairness to both teams, they tried very hard to hurl, but it was very, very difficult, and it showed, and there was a lot of scrappiness and you know, broken ball and stuff. But I suppose Richie Hogan really showed today the little bit of class that he has, and you know, he stood out from the rest of the players. They'll be very happy to the position they're in. They have won their two matches. That's all you can do. Sure. They'll be disappointed probably letting Cork back into the game, because you know, I mean, you'd like to be putting Cork away, put them away, don't give them a second chance, and we know you don't let them back in. And Cork will have to be credited for the way they came back into the game. At half time it looked bad for them, and they were playing into the wind, and we wonder about the wind and the value of the wind. How valuable was it? Because the team with it didn't utilise it really to that great extent. But Cork fought hard, but I suppose at the end of the day, the bit of class Richie Hogan had it on the day and won the game for Kilkenny. Cyril, Kilkenny might like to be pulling away from teams like Cork and Nolan Park, but Cork would never like to go away from Nolan Park by taking a significant beating. Yeah, as John referred to that, they were against the breeze second half, down 8 points. Now, the interesting thing was the few changes around half-time worked. Jerry O'Connor came on and played very well. Tom Kinney came on and played very well. Keane McCarthy came on, and they showed far more bite, and they came back into the game, and eventually now it was mainly from frees, but yet they were tacking on, and Kilkenny stopped scoring. They went out of scoring for a long time. They had 10 scored at half time, they only scored 4 in the second half. They'll like to have won Kilkenny, but they will not be happy with the second half display, whereas Cork will be disappointed to lose, but morally they kind of came out of moral victory in the sense that they looked out at half time, and yet there was nothing yet. By the end of the game it could have gone either way. You mentioned John Richie Hogan. Marty was waxing lyrical about him at the commentary there, and rightly so, because he put in a fair performance today. He was very good today, and I mean, you know, like Colin Keeney last night, he was the difference between the teams, and you need that extra bit of class. And as you can see here, like a long free coming in here from PJ Delaney, and he's first up off the ground. He's not a big man, catches it cleanly, goes to his left, over his head. In the conditions there today, that's as good a point, you know, really class point, and you know, this is what he has in abundance. Long puck out here again, the ball breaks through midfield, and you see who's first onto it. Richie goes to his left side again, takes the few steps to get away, not the fastest guy in the world, pops it over the shoulder again, over the black spot. Tremendous score, like, you know, I mean, pure class. We keep saying class, but that is class. Another puck out. Now this is to win the game, you know, the same thing. Ball breaks through midfield again, Richie's onto it again. Simple tap, I suppose, simple free to give away. That was fair enough, and you would see. But this one here, now look at, he's going hooking here. He has the hurl in his left hand, and he just facing him to hook. Now I think James Owens made a mistake. It's probably Tommy Welsh. Look at watch JJ number 3.
is Tommy West's tap and across. JJ goes to hook. If he got the hook in, he would have prevented the score going in.
Yeah.
But like it's a very, I think he just got the wrong yellow, and it meant then you see Michael that the wrong man that when he got the second one, then he was gone. Like JJ Delaney was hooking. To me, it's a wrong decision. You'd wonder why the linesman was up there near it, how he didn't come into the play as well. They just have to use them more. He wouldn't like to be fair.